Hi there, my name is Queen Ningon II, 17th generation crown queen of the Fang people, or the people of Ekang, also known as the Immortals. Our tribe found itself spread through 5 different countries, which are Gabon, Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea, the Congo, and Sao Tome and Principe. I'm the first African queen crowned abroad. All right, so what does it mean? It means that power literally came from home to come to the Americas and crown one of us. And it's of great importance for you to know. Because most communities, when they move and go somewhere else for a living or whatever, they take their power with them. They do. All immigrants always carry something, right? So what do I mean as their power? There's always that religious figure or that spiritual authority within their community, which serves as a connection between them and the divine. So as the first crown queen, crown in the spirit realm, yes, and it's of great importance for you to know that as well. So as I was saying, most communities, when they go somewhere, they take their power with them, okay? They always carry something. So in the case of our people, it was not the same, because our people came naked and remained naked for a long time. Or I should say, our people came naked and remained naked until then. So I was crowned in 2016 and called to serve publicly last year in 2020. Every generation, among African crowns, every generation has a role to play. And for my people, as far as my crown, our people's crown is concerned, my mission is to come and help heal you. Being the direct descendant of the kingdoms you guys come from, our kingdoms back in Africa, which were destroyed. So it's of great importance that in order for us to even embark into this healing process, I have to tell you the truth. I have to tell you how you, our people, ended up where you are. Okay? So let's get into it. First of all, you guys have to know who we are. Okay? I'm sure many of you have watched the movie Black Panther, right? So I'm sure you're familiar with the scene where T'Challa goes through a kind of initiation and meet with his dead kings. So all I can tell you is that Marvel nailed it. They did, but they need to stop putting our business out there. Anyway, so initially when they crowned me, I was rather confused as to why they would choose to crown me, because honestly, I was one of the least traditional children of my parents. I succeeded to the throne following my late mother, Queen Ningon I. I just didn't believe, with all the information out there, that our crown could have even survived what our people went through. So, after meeting our ancestors, I couldn't help but feeling honored because the purity of our people, it's amazing. Contrary to the belief out there, contrary to anything that is being said about us. You know, our people say, until the lion has a storyteller, the hunter will always have the best part of the story. Our ancestors' initial contact with the European was rather what would be consider like more like on a friendship basis. Yeah. Our elders told us that the first to get there were the Portuguese. Right, they came. And they told our ancestors that they came in peace. Right, they told our ancestors that they came to discover Africa, that they came to trade with them. And our ancestors being the observant of our philosophy, which is the Ubuntu philosophy, which forces us to see the Creator in every single aspect of His creation. So of course our ancestors welcomed them with open arms. Our elders even told us that our ancestors even saw them off with expensive gifts such as gold, animal fur, incense, salt, stuff like that. So they went back and forth between, Africa and Europe, and they went and basically told others about the riches of Africa. Gradually, with some, we started seeing the French coming around, British, and so on. So the first initial contact with our kings, it was not, they didn't express any hostility. So of course our king welcomed them. But the problem was that the minute their ships would dock on our coast, they will cut their men loose to go rampant on our land and started messing with us, the females. So first cases of rape started being reported. So they will rape the girls, they will kidnap women and young girls, and unaware of the king, they will load them up in their ship and take them away to never be seen again. So as soon as reports got to the kings that their guests, the people they were showering with gifts, are conducting criminal activities on our lands, our kings drew the line on the sand and started retaliating. Our kings attacked them. I want every single one of you to know that our kings, our forefathers, they fought. They fought them military, they fought them politically. I can give you a few examples, but they fought. So this is one thing they're not telling you guys. After they have gone to Europe and seek permission from the Pope and the Vatican, they gave them the green light to come after us and do of us whatever they wish. For according to the Pope at that time, we did not have a soul. So the Europeans formed a coalition and decided to wage the kind of war they have never waged on anybody before. So, and then they came with their artillery, their guns, their rifles, their tanks, their men, and their white Jesus to come and impose the convert or die. So many of our kings had to either convert into Christianity, release their authority, abdicate their power to their white Jesus, or die. So our people fought them I want you guys to know. Your fathers, forefathers fought them. Yes, we fought them. I'm going to give you two examples for you guys to kind of understand that in the case of war, I mean, when they declare war on a people, you just have to look at the aftermath effect. I know that they ran around and tried to make the whole world believe that all of the people on the earth, of all people God put on earth, the African man is the only one who does not have love nor attachment to their children. This is so absurd, because at the end, what happened? Our kings were murdered, our kingdoms destroyed, burned to the ground, our children rounded up and sold into slavery, our sacred art looted. If this is not enough to let you know that major war broke out, I don't know what else to tell you, my people. I don't know what else to tell you. What kind of collaboration was that? What kind of collaboration could our forefathers entered into with the European, which will let them destroy us and yet be partner in the same token? It doesn't make sense. So, did some African king or so-called king sold their people? Yes. But I have to tell you, there's a big difference between a king some people would push on the throne after the king, they kill the real king or chase him off to exile. Yes, those who gave them access to their people freely, and again freely. You have to understand, the people who came to Africa were starved. They were infested with disease. They were broke. That's the main reason why they started all these expeditions to begin with. Our papas, our kings, our Monkazis, they were the richest men on earth at that time. The entire world flocked around them because of their riches. Our father didn't need anything. Our father, they could have never done what they accused them of. But let me tell you what happened. In the areas where they couldn't militarily defeat the crown king, what would they do? They would use their best weapon against mankind, which is the divide and conquer. Such was the case for the Wasulu Empire under Emperor Samurai Ture. All right? Emperor Samurai Ture, he didn't have firearms like they had, but he was able to successfully keep the French at bay for 15 years. He fought them. And when they found that he couldn't be beaten military, what did they do? They went around his circles, including his half-brothers, because as you know, our kings had compound full of us, right? So the problem was that certain king, after they are crowned, they would no longer follow the rules on polygamy, as God has instructed us to follow the rules on polygamy, should you engage into having a polygamous home. So some kings, once they were crowned, they would just marry anybody. Anybody they liked, they would marry, right? So this is how some Jezebel, some demons, some witches, or whomever, however you want to call it, women who were not deserving of becoming a royal wife would sneak into a royal home. And of course, they would raise children in division. So in the case of the emperor Samori Turi, they went around and found his half-brothers, right? And approached the half-brothers with promises of power, meaning the throne, and protection from them. I know what many of you will say, yes, it's our downfall and it's still our downfall, but it's a big difference when it comes to the dispersal of a whole people. So when they did that, they took a puppet, not a king. A puppet. A puppet does not have a covenant with God. A puppet doesn't have the divine authority over his people to even claim to own them, to even claim to sell any of them or give away as gift to any of them. A puppet doesn't have that authority. So what they used to do when they defeat the crown king, they will go and ask one of his half-brothers to sit as the king. And of course, people who could never stand the chance to sit on that throne were offered the opportunity to finally sit on that throne. So yes, some of the royals betrayed, but they were not your kings. The covenant God has, the covenant God has between him and us is still in full effect. It remains, and it survived the fall of our people. That's why I'm here. A puppet doesn't have the spiritual authority to sell any of you. A puppet doesn't have the divine authority to dispose of any of you. No. So when they did that, after they defeated our crown kings, for whichever way they used, whether through war or through the divide and conquer, they rounded up their children, snatched them, captured them, and threw them in belly of ships and shipped them away to slavery. My people, I want to make sure this is very clear to you. These Europeans did not buy, nor will ever have the kind of money that can buy any of you. They got millions of people out of our land for free. And then they turn around to really make sure they will seal that nail on the casket for the black man, for the African man. They spreaded that lie around the world that we, the richest kings on earth at that time, sold our own children. So, what was possibly the lie? What was the reason behind the lie? Two things. In order for a big crime, such big crime to take place, and the cover-up that follows that crime is for a purpose. There's a good reason underneath it. So in order for me to help you understand, I have to first tell you who we are, so you will understand why we went through what we went through. We are today's Bantu. We are the tribe of Shem. We are the true Judah. Our history, our people came from the region of Gaza, Palestine. This is what our elders have always told us. We came from there, and we migrated, we journeyed, and we came to Egypt, where we spent 5 centuries. Yes, 5 centuries. We lived in Egypt. Some people, due to the manipulation of the history, they tend to confuse us, take us for the Camite. No, we live alongside with them. We were, cohabitating. We share similar cultures, but we're not the Camite, we're the Semite. So it's of great importance for us to understand that, because if you research the origin of Bantu, according to them, for some strange reason, they claim that we came from West Africa. But and yet all our lineage, all our family tree traces back to Upper Egypt. All our kings were established around the Nile Valley. So you have to understand that there a transaction took place. So they took the Bantu, they put them as origin in West Africa. No, our history comes far, far longer than that. All right? We were in Palestine, and then we journeyed, we the people of Shem. We journeyed, and then we came to Egypt, and we spent 5 centuries in Egypt. You have to understand the kind of kingdom. What is the foundation of our crowns? What is an African crown? It's a covenant between God and that group of people. So how does it work? God chooses a man in a community, and then he crowns him. So during that transaction, vows are made, oaths are sworn. So God will give that man the instruction how to guide, lead, and protect his people. And in return, in exchange, the king will ask what he wants. And all our kingdoms are blessed with divine protection, divine abundance, divine intelligence. We are God's people. We are today the Bantu Israelite.